I think that's critically important because people just, they don't get it. I can't just bring a bigger crew in here and accomplish any more.
Right.
That's the difference between what we do versus if you create something in mass, you can just throw more bodies at it. I can't throw more bodies at this and go any faster. And yet somehow there's this mentality, well, just more people get more. It just doesn't work that way. I suppose if you're doing flat work and you're doing basic stuff, sure, a bigger crew would help. I just have not figured out a way of getting more detail by getting more people. It's the detail just takes the time, and you got to have the right people to do it.
Well, and there were some times where, you know, you were still taking it all in. You know, you get a part of it done, and you'd stand there and you'd go, okay, and the wheels are just cranking, and you were planning out 2-3 days ahead of time, and that kind of stuff has to happen because this isn't, you know, following the print and, you know, measuring this and yep, that's perfect, you know.
It's not at all.
Nothing like that's going on. This is freeform art going on, and that takes thought, that takes planning, obviously. You know, all this has come together somehow.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, a lot of that stuff takes time to do.
And you have to remember those little pieces. I think your wife had made the comment. Boy, I don't know. When I mentioned that there was a low voltage wire in a spot, and she was sort of amazed, like that had to be thought way out ahead of time to make sure it was there. So 4 weeks down the road, it's there to use. And so we do have to kind of keep going in that. That's why just adding bodies doesn't make it go any faster. Right. Plus, we don't want that anyway. You know, we don't want just mass production anything. We want all of it to be as cool as it can be and not compromise anywhere.
Right.
And it does take time. And so thank you for saying that, because I tried to express it to you when we first met, that this is a process that takes some time, but how much do people hear? A lot of times they, what, you said that?
Right.
You know, because they're just anxious. I can't blame anyone, but I know also that I found, and I was talking earlier, that this is a piece of me. I really am connected. It's kind of funny. I don't know if I ever told you the story how we went to Phoenix, and a guy there that we know, we were having a wine and cheese gathering. There were about 20 or 30 people at his house, and he had just bought a painting of this artist he'd been collecting for like 10 years. This guy was from New Mexico or someone and happened to be in town doing a show that day, and they bought another painting. And this guy had these gigantic, coolest paintings in the world. This guy that we know had about 10 of them in his house he'd bought over the last 10 years. We were there when the artist came to deliver. He was hand-delivering that painting because he knew they'd bought so many. We met him, nice guy, and I remember him watching like this, and he just slowly walked from painting to painting, staring at his work. And it was like his life history. It was probably 10 years of his history, and no one in the room probably recognized it but me, because I was connecting with the fact that he was like, where was I then when I had this thought that I did this? And then where was I? And it was sort of a timeline of his life.
Sure.
And that's kind of what the projects are to me. That I was just saying the other day in the office, we have all these cool pictures of the stuff we've done, and they're like calling me to come back and see them. It's like my kids almost wanting to reconnect with the space, because each space is different. Each space is incredibly unique. And for me, everyone would think, what a nut. What kind of contractor wants to go back just to sit in their stuff? It's not because I'm so cool. It's because of how it makes me feel. Yeah. And if it makes me feel that way, I would hope it gives you some sense of that as well. So.
Yep, and it's a discovery all the time. I mean, we're constantly coming across stuff that either Karen did or you did, when you know, it's like, oh my gosh, because you guys don't go, we did that there, and we did that there. And
we don't want you to know until you find it.
Oh, yeah, and we're finding it all the time. It's so cool.
What that does is that Karen is absolutely empowered to do that as well, because it's all part of that process. Let's just keep surprising you all the time. It makes it fun for us, and hopefully makes it fun for you. And that's part of our long-range ideas. We want to be gone, and you still be telling a new story about something that you just found. Yeah. We want that to happen for a long time, so it's not like, well, there it is. Okay, let's move on. Yeah. We don't want you. We want you to be engaged in it for a long time. And that's the next evolution I was telling you the other night about the story, and building a story and a backstory to our projects, so that you can keep telling the story about the projects.
I like that
whole
idea.
New, yeah, it's a pretty cool idea.
Very cool, very cool. And it was funny last night. Luke brought me outside specifically to show me the areas that he carved. That was like cool, because we walked each little part.
Showed each
See
part.
that little hump there, Dad?
I did that.
I did that.
Yep. And that was, he was so engaged in it, there was no touching it, there was no more making it more perfect than he made it. There was nothing that I could do to make it any better. It was,
Yeah.
it was exactly him, and now he's connected
Oh, yeah.
in that way to a thing, and he'll show every friend he ever
Oh,
has.
he will.
I did this, and I did
Yes.
that, and I carved me in a, when he said something, and I said, why don't you carve your name in here somewhere? And he looked at me, and I said, well, and if you like your sister, you can carve her name too. And he kind of scrunched his face. I said, well, you don't have to. And if you notice, he carved Amanda and Lucas. He put her name first. So it was just kind of one of those cool moments like, oh, that's cool.
Oh,
But
yeah.
he was able to do it himself.
Yeah,
So
no, he really got into that.
that's
cool.
cool. Yeah.